O Brahman, O the sense of self-awareness, O pure consciousness, lead us from darkness to light. O Brahman, lead us from untrue to true. O Brahman, blessings be on my listener, whether it's a herself or it's a himself. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Today I have selected a topic. Just so you know, it's not in the response of any inquiry, but I I rather have selected a topic just like a good, wise reminder. I hope you are following me. Today, I have selected a topic just like a wise reminder for each one of us. As you can see, the caption, learning to heal. You see, learning to heal from the wounds that our spirit has unfortunately gained. You see, learning to heal the wounds that our spirit unfortunately has gained. It's very significant. We realize it is very significant for us. It is very crucial for us, and it is very dire for us that we learn to heal from the wounds of our spirit, and we heal those wounds. You see, before our time is up, that we heal those wounds. It is very significant for us that we heal completely. It is very significant for us that whether we heal completely or we heal the wounds in our Atman or spirit, basically, or in our self, whatever we want to call it, whatever we want to title it, it basically indicates to the same thing. Atman, spirit, yourself, is basically indicates the same thing. With the passage of years since the day of our birthday, when we grew up, we came to contact with the numerous beings, we came to contact with numerous um, people. They left a mark on us. Mark may not be necessarily a bad mark, just a mark. Anytime we exchanged our energy, anytime we exchanged our energy with anyone, any being, basically, it imprinted on the Atman. It imprinted on us. It imprinted on our soul in the form of karma. It means that now we have an open account with that person. It's very simple. It means that now we have an open account with this person. If the memories we made, if the energy we exchanged is not good, it means that something, if they wronged us, you see. So the best way to heal from that memory, the best way to heal from that karma is to forgive the one who has wronged us. You see, the process of healing basically starts from within. The process of forgiveness or the process of forgiving starts from within. In order to forgive others, we must learn to forgive ourselves. If we don't forgive ourselves, we won't be able to heal. You see, first we need to remember to forgive ourselves. Once we learn to forgive ourselves, there is less contradiction in us. And then and only then we can forgive others. Forgiving ourselves. What does it mean truly? What does it mean truly to forgive ourselves? You see, let us look into it. Let us look into it profoundly. Let us look into it in detail, deeply. What does it mean to forgive ourselves? We made a mistake long time ago. We made a mistake years and years back. The excuse of our suffering is we made a terrible mistake. I hope you are following me. The excuse of our suffering is we made a terrible mistake. As long as we remember that, as long as our mind is in the charge of us, the mind would make us remember that. Now, you need to let go of that. That's the first step towards our own healing, you see. And the only way you can let it go of that memory, when you truly realize, when you fully realize and comprehend that it does not exist anywhere now. It does not exist in the present moment. It does not exist in the present experience. The only place, the only place it exists, it's in our memory. You see, the only place it exists is in our memory. It does not exist in the present experience. Whatever was it, whatever the mistake we made, either long time ago or short time ago, it cannot be changed. However, there is one thing we have control on: to let the memory of that go. It's the memory, basically. If we don't learn to take charge of our memories, these shh, these memories would keep coming back to us and would punish us over and over and over. if we do not learn to take charge of our thoughts, these memories would become very dominant. These memories would punish us every time that we remember. You see the word remember? Every time we remember the memory. First thing, one, it's one thing that we made the mistake itself in the past, but basically it's another thing. It's one thing that we made a mistake. We made a mistake in the past, but it's entirely other thing to remember that mistake over and over and relive that mistake. You see, one thing, the the entity what you understand God, that's the difference in God's justice and human justice. In human there is no justice. Human has learned to punish himself or herself for one mistake for numerous times. Human unfortunately has learned to punish herself or himself for one mistake for numerous times, for many times. There is no justice. In God's justice, there is only one time for each mistake and done and be done with it. You see what I'm saying to you? In God justice, there is only one time for each mistake and be done with it. It's human mind, it's the memory which has taken the charge and which has taken the control on us. And it keep bringing itself, trying to get our focus, trying to get our attention so it can relive. Otherwise, this memory would subside and this memory would dissipate. You see, and memory would not like it. Memory does not like it. It wants to suck the life out of us. It wants to get the life from us to sustain. Memory itself has no life of its own. The life is coming from us. The life is coming from our focus. And the life is coming from our awareness. Anytime a memory rises, it's usually a bad memory. It's not a pleasant memory. It's usually a bad memory. Anytime, and it draws our focus, it draws our awareness. We don't have a control on our memory. As a matter of fact, it is very possible to be in the charge of your memory, but at this present moment in time, most humans, I would say, fairly don't have any control on their memory. They are not even aware that they are having bad memories and how these bad memories are affecting their spiritual growth. They are not even alert enough. They are not even aware enough. You see, they think it's natural to think about the mistakes you have made either long time ago or you have made short while ago. As long as you are punishing yourself with the memory of that incident, you are not healing. This very message I am delivering you is to give you skills, is to equip you properly so you can heal by forgiving yourself and let the memory go. You see, when you let a bad memory go, that space in your vacuum. I hope you are following me. When you let a bad memory go, the space, when you let a bad memory go, the space in your vacuum becomes available. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? When you let a bad memory go, the space in your vacuum becomes available. The less clutter, the vacuum is like a cylinder, basically. The Atman, the self, the part of Brahman, each one of us has given a space in the immensity of cosmos. You see, it's like a cylinder. If the cylinder, if the vacuum is empty, then it's nothing but goodness there. But if the vacuum is filled with the bad memories, with the mistakes you have made, and you remember it, and you don't even have a control on your memory, you are not letting go. You need to let go of the bad memory. You need to understand in detail and profoundly that what has been done now cannot be undone. What has been done now cannot be changed, no matter what that was. But what can be changed is not to punish us over and over by remembering. You see the word remembering? By remembering the bad memory. You see that you have control on. And once you learn that, your process of healing, you following me? Once you learn that, your process of healing has started now. And it's a good news that your process of healing has started. That you are letting go of the bad memory. So the vacuum, the space within becomes available, more available to either something good happen or the goodness is already there. You see, that's the beauty of goodness. That's the beauty of goodness, that you don't have to travel outside of you. That's the beauty of goodness, that you don't have to travel outside of you to attain goodness. You see what I'm saying to you? You don't have to, there is no distance here, basically, that you don't have to travel somewhere to bring the goodness in you. Goodness is your fundamental nature. Goodness is your fundamental state. So when you learn to let the bad memories go, when you are not executed and punished by the memories over and over, congratulations, the process of your healing has just begun. You see, now you are taking more charge of your memory. Now you are taking more charge of the life you are living. We are not capable, or we cannot forgive others. We cannot forgive others who have wronged us until unless we forgive us for the mistakes we have made. Please remember that. Grow from the mistake is a beautiful thing. Growing, what is growing from the mistake? Growing from the mistake is to have a focus. Growing from the mistake is to have an awareness about the experience in which we made the mistake. Growing from the mistake means to have awareness and focus about the mistake, about the experience we made the mistake, and to learn from it, that what the experience was trying to teach me. Are you following? What the experience was trying to teach me. What choices could, what choices, what better choices could I have made? You see, what better choices could I have made in those particular circumstances, and in those circumstances, if a similar situation occurs again? I hope you are understanding. That's what we understand as growing from the mistakes. That's what we understand as learning to grow from our mistakes. What could I do basically better? What could I do basically next time which is better, what good choices I could make that would avoid hurt, for what good choices could I make that would avoid basically hurt for anyone included in the experience? What choices could I make that I don't hurt myself in the process and I don't hurt others in the process? This is what we understand as growing. This is what we understand as learning from our mistakes. But lingering on a memory and lingering on a memory and punishing ourselves only with the memory, or only with the memory, or only by the memory, is not a wise thing. Then we realize the process, of our very growth has stopped. We are stuck until unless we learn to let go of the bad memories and grow from the mistakes and just keep going. You see, we don't regret what has been done. The reason we don't the reason we do not regret what has been done is because it cannot be undone. If we keep punishing ourselves over and over with what has been done before, then it means our self, our Atman, and our spirit is gaining, unfortunately and sadly, more and more wounds. It means that it is detrimental for our spiritual growth, because something which has been done, it cannot be undone. You see, that's why it's not wise, it's not smart to remember the memory of a mistake and punish yourself. Some of these messages when I do a retreat, some of these messages when I deliver to you, when I am not answering an inquiry, some of these messages are like a reminder, because I remember, you see, I remember talking about the similar messages in the past in a retreat, or even dedicating an entire retreat for the message. But I also know some of these things are significant for us to remind ourselves, so we do not deviate from our spiritual growth, so we do not deviate from our spiritual path. You see. The next step. The next step basically in the process of our spiritual growth, the next step basically in the process of the next step in our spiritual path is to forgive those who have wronged us. You see, because remember something, if somebody wronged us, now we have a karmic account with the person because there was an exchange of memory. The only way this karmic the only way this karmic account can be closed with the person, if we don't like the memory or the deed of the action of that person when they wronged us, the only way is the only way to close that account, the karmic account with that person is by forgiving them. You see, are you following what I'm saying to you? The only way we can close the karmic account of that person or with that person when there was an exchange of memory with that person and we feel that person has wronged us is the only way we can close that karmic account is by forgiving them. You see, what is detrimental in forgiving others is the ego. The ego tells, when we think, why should I go ahead and forgive? When we think, why should I initiate the process? When we think, why should I break the silence or forgive the person? We are thinking through a conditional mind. We are thinking through ego, which is a hallucination. Ego is a socially induced hallucination, as Deepak Chopra says, if you understand what I'm saying. So that is the only way we can close that karmic account, so we wouldn't have to encounter we wouldn't have to encounter, are you following, the person over and over and over till we learn to forgive the person. Is to forgive the person as soon as the person has wronged us, not because the person needs to be forgiven. Are you following? Not because the person needs to be forgiven, but because you don't want to carry on your book of karma, or you don't want to carry that which has imprinted on your karma for the rest of your carnation, for the rest of our carnation. We don't want to carry that. Because if we carry that, if we don't forgive, the chances are, if the karmic energy has not been subsided, if the karmic energy has not been dissipated, the chances are that person would appear, or that person would emerge in the next lifetime or the lifetime after. The person has wronged you. It's of the person has wronged us. It's obviously is not a pleasant memory. It's obviously is not a pleasant counter. It's obviously is not a memory which brings pleasant in our awareness. You see, every time we remember how the person and why the person wronged us, we punish ourselves through the memory. Again, it goes back to the memory. So we need to let the memory go. We need to close our eyes and we need to bring the picture of that person on the screen of our mind, and we need to say, I forgive you. You see, whatever you have done, we need to say, I forgive you. That's very significant. You need to say, you close your eyes, you sit in a meditative state, you close your eyes, and you say, I forgive you. No matter what you have done, I forgive you. And I let it go, and I let go of the memory. You see, this is something small that you can try, but it can bring good results in your life. You see, because the memory of that incident when the person wronged us is not very pleasant. We are not happy by remembering of the memory when the person wronged us. The only way we can heal from those who have wronged us is by forgiving them. And the way you do it, you close your eyes, you bring the picture of the person on your awareness, and you say, I forgive you, I let it go. And then how do you, what is the test that you Now know that you have forgiven the person. Next time when the person comes in your surroundings, next time you hear the person's name, next time when a memory occurs about the person in your awareness, you have no emotional reaction towards it. Then and only then you realize you have fully forgiven the person. I hope you're understanding what I'm telling you. So what happens basically next time when you hear the name of the person, next time when the memory occurs in your awareness, next time you hear the person's name or the person is even in your surrounding and you don't have any emotional reaction towards it, you don't have any poisonous reaction towards it, nothing changes in your awareness, what you essentially are, you remain totally at calm and totally at peace. It means now you have fully and completely, it means now you have fully and you have completely forgiven the person. You have forgiven the person profoundly. You have forgiven the person deeply. It's very important to forgive others. That's the only way we all can heal. That's the only way all our souls can heal. That's the only way all our Atman can heal. When we learn to forgive and when we learn to let go, some people have real hard time in letting go process. Some people have real hard time by some people have real hard time with letting go. It's not easy for them basically to let go. They live in constant misery, unfortunately. They live in constant resentment, unfortunately. They live in constant pain and contemplation. They live in constant functioning of mind, totally unnecessary. They live. You see, you need to understand this that heaven or hell, what you understand, heaven or hell is not a physical place where we are moving or we would move after we shed our body. Heaven or hell is the state of the being. If the person carrying constant resentment, if the person's mind is not resting but planning all the time to get even, to exact revenge with the person who has wronged them, then these feelings are hell itself. If hell is a place when there is fire, if hell is a place when there is fire burning, then fire is burning all around such a person. You see, fire is burning all around such a person when the person is so occupied by not forgiving people, by looking forward to exact the revenge with others. Then the fire is burning all around every moment or for the most part of your day. When that happens on the regular basis, what it does basically, it imprints here. You see, are you seeing what I'm showing you? When it does on the regular basis, it imprints here. When you do, it's very simple to understand. There is no rocket science involved here, what I'm trying to tell you, or what I'm telling you, as a matter of fact. It's no fiction, excuse me, it's no fiction. There is no rocket science involved here. When you learn everything by practice, you see, when you perform a certain action every day or numerous times a day, this is what you understand as habit. It becomes the part of you. It becomes the it becomes the part of you and it becomes the part of your personality. You become habitual towards it. This is how you form habit when you do a certain action numerous times a day. When you perform a certain actions repetitively in a state of compulsion, even sometimes, it becomes habit. It means, it's very simple, I'm trying to make you understand. It means that very action which has become a habit now has become a part of you. You see, just like that, just like that, spiritually and psychologically, when you are wrapping so much fire around you by not forgiving, by bringing, by thinking and contemplating about exacting a revenge most of the part of your day, and you do it every day, then there is a fire burning all around, and then that becomes the part that imprints on karma. When we shed the body, we progress by the karma. You see, we progress by those tendencies that we have developed during our stay on the planet. If you or we progress, God forbid me, by these type of tendencies, which is feeling like a fire, you see the resentment, um, the scheme, the planning, the revenge, by not resting. These are all negative traits. These are the fire which is burning. So, if this fire is imprinted on one's karma, one would turn into that particular fire as soon as one has shed the body. Because now there is no luxury of a reasoning mind. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm trying to show you, I'm rather showing you so clearly why it is so significant to forgive. It's significant to forgive not because the person need to be forgiven. It's significant to forgive so you can rest, so you can be at peace. Then you don't carry all this extra garbage and trash with you. You see, you are free, or you are as free as one can be. When you are free from all these negative traits, then of course uh, you feel very pleasant. That also, if you feel pleasant for the most part of the day, that also imprints on your karma, become the part of your tendency. And when one sheds the body, that pleasantness would multiply very quickly and would turn into heaven. So if we want to be in a state of heaven, not only after we shed the body, but while even remaining in the body, then we must learn to forgive. You understand? Lord Jesus Christ said 2000 years back, forgive so you also can be forgiven. You understand the magnitude of the wisdom of this statement. Lord Jesus Christ said 2000 years back that forgive so you can be forgiven. If you only understand what this mean is. But we have learned to idealize the messenger, and we have learned not to pay any attention to the message. What is important is the message. If you look and focus towards the message, that message itself is enough to liberate you. That why it is significant to forgive others. It's significant to forgive others so you can heal. Remember, the topic is learning to heal. The topic of this very conversation here, the topic of this very message here is basically that we are learning to heal. We are learning to heal by forgiving. Excuse me. We are learning to heal by forgiving ourselves, and we are learning to heal by forgiving others. Om.